Unless you want to try. Okay. All right. If you want to open up that, so you can just follow along. We're gonna open up this. And follow along. This is the order we got to go in. Okay. All right.
Hey, I can go live.
Come
Run a
you
feed
want-
to the Facebook.
Come. Shalom, sis. Shalom, sis. Shalom. We just gonna go right into it. All right, shalom. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua Baraka Thumb to all the Akim out there. Yahweh Shamar Alathun Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah to all the Akwakian. This is the service for the closing of the Feast of First Fruits. And you know, the Feast of First Fruits began at the end of the last day of unleavened bread. And this is the feast day. This is the only feast day where the Most High commands us to actually count toward, you know, we have to count 50 days for the closing service. So it is a tradition, is a custom of the ISBK that we always go through Leviticus 23. And we're going to go through Leviticus 23. We'll try to ask some questions, make it interactive. We know we have scholars in here. Of course, we got, you know, there's a lot of scholars in here, so we'll ask some questions throughout the day. I know Blessing's a scholar. You know, we know all of them is a scholar in here. Naeem is a scholar too. She was just born 5 months ago, but she's a scholar already. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started. Of course, like we usually do, we're going to read the Hebrew, then we'll read it in the English. So let's go to Leviticus 23, verse 1. We're going to read verses 1 through 7. Of course, we're going to read that in the Hebrew, and then we'll read it in the English. Let me get it here. Leviticus 23. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start. We'll read it in the Hebrew first. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 1 in the Hebrew. Waya Dabar Yahweh al Mashal la Amar. Verse 2. Dabar al Bunya Yasha'ala wa Amaras. Alham, Mawa'ija, Yahweh, Ashar, Bakwarawa, Atham, Makwarawa, Kodash, Ahal, so like Allah, Hum, Mawa'ija. Verse 3, Shashaf, Yum Yum, the Aisha, Malaka, Wabayawam, Hashabayaya, Shabbat, Shabbathwan, Mawakwara'ah, Kodash, Call, Malaka, La'ah, the Aisha Wa, Shabbat, Hawa'ah, La Yahweh, Bakal, Mashabath, Yakam. Verse 4, Allah, Mawa'ija, Yahweh, Makora'ah, Yah, Kodash, Ashar, Fakora'awa, Atham, Bamawa'idin. All right, that's verse 4. Verse 5, Bakadash, Hara'ashwan, Bara'abaiha, Asherah, Lachadash, Bayan, Irabyam, Pesach, La Yahweh, verse 6. Wabakamasha, Kamasha, Asherah, Yawam, Lachadash, Hazah, Chav, Hamatazawav, La Yahweh, Shabbat, Yamyam, Matazawath, Thaka Aholiam, Asalaki, Thaka Akalwa, verse 7. Bayawam, Hashawan, Makora'ah, Kodash, Yahaya, Lakam, Kal, Malakath, Abadya, La'ath, the Aishwa. And that's it. All right, now we're going to go ahead and read that. We're going to read that in the English. We're reading Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 1 in the English. And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, verse 2, speak unto the children of Israel and say to them concerning the feast of the Most High. Now, here's the one thing that I'd like to add. Notice that this is the feast for Israel because the Most High said, speak to the children of Israel. He didn't say speak to everybody. He didn't say speak to all nations. He didn't say speak. He said speak to the children of Israel. And say unto them concerning the feast of the Most High, which ye shall be claimed to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts. Shalom. You want to start? You can go ahead and pick it up in verse 3.
Book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 3. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is a Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. Verse 4. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons.
Okay, so the feasts have to be proclaimed in their season. That means there's a certain time where the feasts have to be proclaimed. Okay, when they're proclaimed in their season, that's the time where you are to celebrate the feast days. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 5. In the 14th day of the first month at even is the Lord's Passover.
Okay, so the very first feast day, well, the Most High mentions the Sabbath first, but then he mentions the very first day, the 14th day of the first month, which is the Passover. Can somebody tell me the significance of the Passover? Why do we keep the Passover? Go ahead, sis. Okay. Okay, you're thinking, you're on the right track. Look, okay, you're on the right track. Anybody want to continue? Why do we keep the Passover? So she started off. Anybody else? And people can answer up here too. Why do we keep the Passover? I should just call an Officer McDonald and just walk through. You want to take a shot at it, sir?
As a reminder of how the Lord brought us out of our captivity.
Absolutely. Give him a hand. Actually, give him and his sister a hand. The Passover, you can think of the Passover like our Independence Day. The people, the 13 colonists in this side, you know, they fought against Britain to have their independence. Canada, I think, has their own independence. Well, we have our own Independence Day, and that is the Passover. That's calm. Those sisters, too, I think everybody's hot over there. So you can think of it as our Independence Day. It's the Most High's Passover. It's when he slaughtered the firstborn of Egypt at night while we were protected by, slaughtering a lamb and putting the blood on the doorposts and the lintels of our doorways. And that's when the Most High slaughtered the firstborn and brought us out of Egypt. Okay, go ahead, verse 6.
Book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 6. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days ye shall eat unleavened bread.
Okay, so why do we commemorate the feast of unleavened bread? Anybody want to take a shot at it? Okay, the Passover is when the Most High freed us. It's like our Independence Day. Does anybody know why we commemorate the feast of unleavened bread? Okay, this is the very next day. So the Passover is on the 14th day of the first month, and on that night, The Most High came through and slaughtered the firstborn in Egypt, and the firstborn which caused the Pharaoh to let us go. The Pharaoh said, it don't even matter, sir. Anything. Why do we keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread? And why do we eat unleavened bread? Go ahead, sis. Absolutely, and that means because we were pushed out in haste. So think unleavened bread, we didn't even have time to for the dough to rise. It takes a process. We didn't have time to put. Egyptians literally pushed us out. They after the firstborn, they were burned or dead. They said, "Get out of here." Okay, and so we commemorate the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the water, sir, for that. Go ahead, let's go in first, the water, sir. Verse 7.
The water, sir. The book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 7. In the first day ye shall have a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. Verse 8.
Okay, and servile work, it's like you're not to be going and serving somebody else. Okay, that's like you use no servile, so you're going for your employer or something like that. But this really is for the employer to let the employees off. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and we're gonna. Any questions? Any questions? All right. Okay, we're gonna go now. We're gonna read Leviticus chapter 23, 8 through 15 in the Hebrew. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 8. Wahaba korabtham asha la Yahweh shaba'ith yum ba yawam hashabayaya mahora'a kodash kamala kaf abadya la'a ta aishawa. Verse 9. Wayadabar Yahweh al masha la amar. Verse 10. Dabar al bunya yasha'ala wa amarath alham kaya faba awab al ha'arataza ashar anya nathan lakam Kotazaratham, Kotazaraya, Hahaba Afyam, Imar, Ra'ashaf, Ra'ashiyaf, Kotazarikam, Hakahan. Verse 11. Wahanayat, Ha'imar, Lapanya, Yahweh, Laratazankum, Makaraf, Hashabaf, Noah, Hakahan. Verse 12. Wa'aishayatham, Bayawam, Hakayayum, Ha'amar, Kabash, Thamayum, Bun, Shanathwa, La'ala, La'ayahwa. Verse 13. Womanakathwa, Shunya, Aisharanyam, Salaf, Balawala, Bashaman, Asha, La'yahwa, Rayak, Nayakak, Wayasaka, Yayan, Wabaya'ith, Hayan, Hahayan. Verse 14. Walacham, Wakwala, Wakaramola, La'a, Fa'akowa, I, Atazam, Hayawam, Hazah, I, Habaya, Hakam, Af, Koraban, Allah, Yakam, Kwakwaf, Awalam, Ladaraf, Yakam, Bakal, Mashabaf, Yakam. And that's it. All right, now we're going to be reading the book of Leviticus chapter 23, 8 through 14.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 8. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days, and the 7th day is a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. Verse 9. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye be come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest.
Stop right there for a second. What is the Most High saying when you come into the land? What land is he talking about? Go ahead, Blessed. I was waiting for my scholars. Absolutely. Israel, the land of Canaan. All right. And who was promised that land? Who did the Most High make a covenant with to give that land? Who did he promise that land to? Go ahead. Okay, he did. Which person? I'm thinking of somebody in particular. Go ahead, sis. Abraham. So he promised, get both of them in hand. Excellent. All right. He promised Abraham that was the covenant. He said, when you come into the land. So the land of Canaan, which was Israel, he promised he made a covenant with Abraham. I think you can find that. If I remember, don't get me wrong on this. Genesis 12 or Genesis 15, somewhere around there, made a covenant with Abraham. It said, this land I will give you and to your descendants. So right here it says, when you come into the land and reap the harvest of the land, you are to bring a sheep of the first fruits. There's a scripture that talks about you're supposed to honor the Most High with your first fruits. And you are supposed to bring it to the priests, okay? And the priests were the ones that, Slacky, sir? I was right, Jim, the water. Thanks for checking with me. So you were to bring it to the priests, okay? And you know the priests a lot of times were the ones who benefited from certain, like the sacrifices or the first fruits because they didn't have an inheritance, okay? The priests, and the Levites usually didn't have an inheritance. The other 12 or 11 tribes, I think I'm getting that right, 11 tribes, or you could say 12, you think Ephraim, Manasseh, they had an inheritance as far as the land. And Salakia, sir, you can correct me when I'm wrong, just raise your hand if I'm getting it wrong, okay? But they had an inheritance, but the Levites and the priests, their inheritance was the Most High. So when you brought your sacrifices, when you brought your first fruits, the priests and the Levites would benefit off of that because they didn't have an inheritance that, the Most High did give them cities to dwell in, and they were pretty much scattered, but they didn't have an inheritance. Go ahead. Salakia, sir, Baba Kushal, verse 11.
Verse 11, and he shall wave the sheaf before the Lord to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it.
So the priest, just think how we hold out the cup and say, Ya La, Yasha Allah. It's no mysticism in that, okay? It's just presenting it from the priest, and the priest would be accepted. Go ahead.
And ye shall offer that day when ye wave the sheaf, and he lamb without blemish of the first year for a burnt offering unto the Lord.
Okay.
Verse 13, and the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deal of fine flour mingled with oil.
Now, if people don't think the Bible is black, what does this sound like? Flour mingled with oil? What does that sound like? We do this all the time. In the black, go ahead, McCall, I see you shake your head. What's it sound like?
It sound like my mother going to fry some chicken.
There we go. It sound like some chicken. I know, blessing. We gotta get daddy. We give daddy chicken. So I'm coming back to you. All right. Does it sound like chicken? All right. So flour. People don't think the Bible is black. Listen, we've been doing this over and over. Okay, keep going.
An offering made by fire unto the Lord for a sweet savor, and the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the fourth part of an hin.
Okay, so you have the drink offering. You have different offerings, and a lot of these offerings, you had to make a blood sacrifice because the Most High requires blood. Okay, He required blood. Okay, and to prove that, let me see if somebody's thinking I'm doing a quiz all day. Whose sacrifice did He frown upon because they did not bring no blood to the altar? Whose sacrifice did the Most High frowned upon when He would bring His stuff to the altar? Come on, let's think back. I will give y'all clues. In Genesis, he accepted somebody's sacrifice, but He didn't accept another person's. I'll give you another clue. It's two brothers. Okay, there you go. Cain. There you go. And whose sacrifice did He not accept? What it says? He didn't accept Cain's sacrifice. Because the Most High, giving them a hand up. I like it. I know you had it. He didn't accept Cain's sacrifice because Cain was offering stuff from the ground. He didn't offer the Most High his best. Abel came with his best, and he offered the fat of the lamb. He offered lambs and sacrifice. He offered the Most High required blood. Okay, and so that's why He frowned upon Cain's sacrifice. Cain's sacrifice. He didn't bring the Lord the best. The Most High wanted us to bring the best. Come.
And she's kind of pissed too. And she said, well, girl, what is that? The lamb, support something else. I said, it's lamb at all.
Right. Well, it's pointing to something. It was symbolic too. Right, the lamb. It was symbolic. And you got to think. The Most High has His picks too of what He likes. There's of course some stuff we cannot eat. The Most High has. You can look here and see what the Most High favors. Okay, like you said, it's a sweet savor. So you're absolutely right there, All right, and it was pointing to, you know, it was pointing to something historic, because we know that the ultimate sacrifice was Yahweh. We know that, you know, that the Yahweh was the ultimate sacrifice, and that's why we're not doing lamb sacrifices today, okay? Because the Most High gave his special son was sacrificed for us, for Israel, so that we could, you know, continue. And if he could do that, then you can see how merciful the Most High is on us. All right, keep going.
Verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And ye shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering unto your God. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations and all your dwellings.
Excellent work. I love the participation too. All right, now we're going to be reading Leviticus 23. We're going to be reading verse 15 through 21. Make sure I'm getting my math right here. I'm trying to count by seven. I think I'm right. All right, we're going to read in the Hebrew, then in the English. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 15. Wasapartham, Lakam, Makarath, Hashabath, Mayawam, Habayayaikum, Af, Imar, Hathanawapa, Shabai, Shabathwath, Thamayamath, Thahayana. Verse 16. I, Makarath, Hashabath, Hashabayais, Thasaparwa, Kamashyam, Yawam, Waha Korabtham, Manacha, Chadasha, La Yahweh. Verse 17. Mawashabath, Yakam, Thabayawa, Lacham, Thanawapa, Shatham, Shathyam, Shanya, Asharanyam, Salah, Thahayana, Chamataza, Thapayana, Bakawarium, La Yahweh. Verse 18. Waha Korabtham, Halacham, Shaba'ith, Kabashyam, Thamayamum, Bunya, Shana, Wapar, Bun, Bakwar, Achad, Wa'aholyam, Slakia, Wa'ayolyam, Slakia, Shanyam, Yahayawa, Allah, La Yahweh, Wa'manakathyam, Makatham, Wanasakyahum, Asha, Rayak, Nayakaka, La Yahweh. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 19. Yashatham, Sha'ayar, Azayam, Chad, Lacha Ta'af, Shanya, Kabashyam, Bunya, Shana, Lazabak, Shalamyam. Verse 20. Wahanayak, Hakahan, Atham, Alakam, Bakawariam, Thanawapa, Lapunya, Yahweh, Ashanya, Kabashyam, Kodash, Yahayawa, La Yahweh, La Kahan. Verse 21. Wakaratham, Ba'itazam, Hayawam, Hazah, Makwara'a, Kodash, Yahaya, Lakam, Kal, Mala'akab, Ibadah, La'at, Aishawa, Kakwath, Awalam, Bakal, Mawa Shabath, Yakam, Ladarath, Yakam. And that's it. Okay, we're now going to be reading, first, I don't know why I keep saying first today. We're reading Leviticus 23. We're reading verses 15 through 21 in the in the English.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 15. And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye bought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete.
Okay, stop right there. So this is the closing of the Feast of First Fruits, and so we actually have to count. Somebody tell me, how many days are we to count? How many days is the Most High, are we commanded to count? Go ahead. 7? Well, not quite. No, we're a little bit far off on that one. He did say count 7. We're to count. This is the only time that the Most High actually commands us. Go ahead. There we go. Okay. Someone did that at 50. Okay. We were supposed to count 50. Okay. And this is the only feast day that we are commanded to actually count. And we are to count at the closing. So the closing of what? Let me see. Somebody got it? The closing of the what? Go ahead, Leslie. What part of the, what part? The feast of what? The closing of what is, go ahead. Well, the first fruits starts. What ends when the first fruits begins? What ends when the first fruits begin? There we go. Give her a hand. So when the feast of unleavened bread ends, the feast of first fruits begin, and we have to start counting. And that's the one. That's the feast day we have to count. Okay, where we at? I'm sorry, I keep losing my
verse
spot.
16.
Verse 16. Go ahead, Slocky.
Verse 16. Even unto the morrow after the seventh Sabbath shall ye number 50 days.
Now 50 days. Go ahead.
And ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord.
Go ahead.
Verse 17. Ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2/10 deals. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baken with leaven. They are the first fruits unto the Lord.
Okay, and you got to think the spirit behind this, the first fruits, is to not be greedy. Okay, you're to bring your best, and so that you can share it with the community. So you got to think people are bringing their first fruits at this feast so that they could share it amongst everybody. Okay, this is to show that you're not to be greedy and to keep and hoard everything for yourself. Okay, just like how people brought food today, people are bringing their first fruits. They were bringing their best. They were bringing it to be accepted by the Most High, by the priest, and then people share. The spirit behind it is not to be greedy and to share with your community, with your camp, how you want to look at it, your people. Okay, to share amongst your people. Okay, and we're going to show why you shouldn't be greedy. The Most High says it. Keep going.
Verse 18. And ye shall offer with the bread 7 lambs without blemish of the first year, and 1 young bullock, and 2 rams. They shall be for a burnt offering unto the Lord, with their meat offering and their drink offering, even an offering made by fire, a sweet savor unto the Lord. Verse 19. Then ye shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and 2 lambs of the first year for a sacrifice of peace offerings. Verse 20. And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering before the Lord. With the 2 lambs, they shall be holy to the Lord for the priest.
Okay, and so like you got to think that the priests, the priests got to eat of the first fruits because, like I said, they didn't have that inheritance. You got to think that was a hard job. I mean, you slaughtering stuff all day. You hear people are coming to you. So the priests, this is how the priests, benefited receiving something for the task they did, and the Levites. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 21. And ye shall proclaim on the selfsame day that it may be in holy convocation unto you.
What does holy mean? What does that actually mean? What does holy mean? Go ahead, sis. It means separate. Okay, so this is a separate assembly, something that you're set apart. Okay, when other groups have their separate assemblies, they have their separate events, we're not invited to the table. We're really not invited to the table. Okay, and if you show up, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. Okay, so we're not invited to the table. So as in Israel, we also have our separate occasion. We have our separate events because this actually shows us our culture. A lot of events in different cultures show their culture identity. This gives us our identity. And actually shows us our history too. You think about, some of the parts of the feast days, it's kind of like a history lesson. Because you got to remember, you're going back on what the Israelites went through when they were in Egypt, what they went through when they went through the wilderness. So this is almost like a history lesson too when we view the feast days. All right? Was that it?
Wow.
Okay, go ahead.
Ye shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations.
Okay, so it should be a statute. There's people now so when it says all your dwellings, that means he talks about even now, because there's some people that say, well, we can't keep a feast unless we're in the land, but it says in all your dwellings. Okay, so even in our captivity right now, we are to, as we can, observe these feast days. Okay, it says in all your dwellings throughout your generations. Okay, excellent. All right, now we're going to be reading Leviticus 23. We're going to be reading 22. I think I'm going through 28. I think I'm reading 28. It sounds about right. All right, I'm going to read that in the Hebrew and then the English. Okay. Leviticus chapter 3, verse 22. Waba kwatazar come, kwatazayar, Aratazakam, La'a, Thakala, Pa'ath, Shadaka, Bakwatazaraka, Walakwat, Waktazayaka, La'a, Thalakwat, La'aina, Ainayas, like Walagar, Tha'izab, Atham, Anya, Yahweh, Allah, Yakum. Verse 23, Wayadabar, Yahweh, All, Mashal, Amar. Verse 24, excuse me. Dabar, Al, Bunya, Yasha'ala, Lamar, Bakadash, Hayashaya, Ba'aya, Hashaya, Baya'aya, Ba'achad, Lakadash, Yahaya, Lakam, Shabbathwan, Zakarwan, Thawara'aiha, Makora'ah, Quadash. Verse 25, Call, Malakath, Ibadah, La'ah, Ta'aishawah, Waha Korabtham, Asha, La Yahweh. Verse 26, Wayadabar, Yahweh, All, Mashah, La Amar. Verse 27, Ba'ishawar, La Kadash, Hashabayaya, Hazah, Yawam, Hakaparium, Hawa'ah, Makora'ah, Quadash, Yahayam, Lakam, Wa'anyatham, Napashath, Yakam, Waha Korabtham, Asha, La Yahweh. I think that's it. I think it was going to 27. 28 to what? Verse 28. Wakal, Malakav, the Aishawah, Ba'itazam, Hayawam, Hazak, Kayayawam, Kapar, Yam, Hawa'ah, La Kapar, Ayakam, La Punya, Yahweh, Ahol, Yakam. And that's it. All right, we're now going to be reading Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 22.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 22. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not make clean riddance of the corners of thy field when thou reapest, neither shalt thou gather any gleanings of the harvest.
Stop right there. All right, now the answer's already right there, but what does he mean you're not supposed to take everything? Why? Why was the Most High, when we think of a field that's like rectangular, why weren't we to take everything? Why weren't we to take? Go ahead, sister.
Because the outer was for the less fortunate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is to take care of the people that are less fortunate. So you were the edges of the field, you got to think that was for the less fortunate. And, if something fell, you were not to pick it up. You just, let somebody else get it. Okay? And that was for so that means somebody in your field could come and they could take of the corners of your field. That was illegal. They could do that. Okay? Because that shows the spirit behind that is for you not to be greedy. The Most High is showing you how to take care of the people in your nation that's less fortunate. Okay? I mean, nowadays, I don't know if y'all had, some fruit and all that. Somebody came to y'all know which I had to be like, look, I'm following the laws. They pointed to the book. I don't know how y'all would act. But really, historically, that's what. They could come in. Now, they weren't supposed to get a basket and, throw everything in there. Okay? Because that would be considered stealing. But if they were walking in, and does anybody remember a precept of this? Does anybody remember? There's a precept of this, an example of this with Yahushua. Does anybody remember? Anybody remember this precept? Okay, precept is, you remember, sir? The precept is, remember Yahushua and them were going through the fields and they were picking corn, him and his disciples. And the Pharisees, and this was on the Sabbath day. What did the Pharisees say Yahushua and them were doing? Anybody remember? Go ahead, sir. He said, y'all are working on the Sabbath. Okay? But they were actually keeping this precept. They were going through now, and taking of the food, because they were hungry. Because that was illegal. You could have done that. And I don't know whose field it was, but they understood the law where you could, go and take, if you were hungry, you could take with something. So that's a precept. All right, did we read everything?
Lie.
Okay, so I'll start.
Thou shalt leave them unto the poor and to the stranger. I am the Lord your God. Verse 23. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of the blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation.
Okay, so after this feast day, okay, we got a little break period here, and then we go into the fall season where we have the first Sabbath memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. Okay, and that usually starts in the fall. Okay, And why was blowing the trumpets important historically? Why? What's the spirit behind that? Why do we have a feast day of a memorial blowing of the trumpets? Go ahead.
If I remember, it's to call all God's people together to,
Okay, so you're thinking like it's to gather Israel together. Go ahead. Absolutely, because a time of war to warn Israel. Okay, to gather together in a time of war. Sometimes to gather together on the feast day. But the thing is that the gathering together of the Akim, the brothers and the sisters, that was the spirit behind it, to gather us together. And when we gathered together, during those days in Israel, the priest or whoever was the leader would tell us what was going on. Okay, we're about to go to war. Okay, oh, I need the camp to move like this. But the memorial of blowing the trumpets is to think about it as the Most High calling us together. Okay, sometimes, like I say, even a feast day was called together to rejoice and celebrate because we're called together today. Okay, and so the memorial blowing the trumpets is think about the gathering together of Israel. All right, go ahead.
Verse 25, ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. Verse 26, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, also on the 10th day of this 7th month there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be a holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord.
Okay, what does that mean? This is the feast day, the Day of Atonement. What does it mean to afflict your soul? What do we do on that day? Anybody know? This is the Day of Atonement, it's a feast. What's the requirement that we're supposed to do that day? Anybody know? Go ahead. Okay, how long are you supposed to fast? 24 hours, no food, no drink. And this is actually where the Muslims get their Ramadan thing. They got it from us. But I think Jermaham said it best. They're just missing lunch on Ramadan because they get up early. And they really get up early and they eat. They do. They eat before sunrise. And they miss lunch. And then sunset they're eating again. So that's really, all they're really missing is lunch on Ramadan. But we have to fast for 24 hours. What's the spirit behind that? Why are we to fast for 24 hours? What's the spirit behind it? Anybody know? Go ahead. I couldn't hear you. Okay, so one more time, sister. Loud. Okay. All right. Well, a blessing can come from that. Absolutely. Anybody else want to add to that? What's the spirit? Go ahead. Okay. Okay. It is a devotion. There's a definite help side to it. Absolutely. Okay, and the other brothers want to answer? Go ahead. Awesome. Oh, okay. And another thing you got to think of is we need to eat every day, correct? So the spirit behind this is if you can fight 24 hours and fight, because listen, 24 hours without eating food or drink can be difficult for some people. But if you can go 24 hours without that, that shows that you can fight your other demons.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody needs something to eat. That's the conversation, especially when everybody's on, what are we eating? I mean, that's always the topic. What are we eating? Okay? It's like we think about it every day. So if you can go 24 hours without that, then that shows that you can go without other things that you're fighting, that you have to fight against. Okay? All right? We still got any more?
Verse 28.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 28, and ye shall do no work in the same day, for it is the day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Lord your God.
Excellent. Salakia, if y'all want to, because there's only a few of us, and sisters, if y'all want to start, getting a plate, I would suggest maybe instead of the plates, what are those called? The to-go trays. There's stuff flying in here, so I would suggest maybe maybe the to-go trays if y'all want to make some plates for yourselves, and because it's only us so far. So, Salakia, go ahead, sis. Salakia, sir. I haven't heard anything about the. Usually, I would get a message about the generals. I haven't heard from DC or anything, but we have like literally plenty of food, and it's only a few of us. So if I do get that message, I know there'll be enough to make for them. So, so if y'all want to, if any sisters want to just help, y'all can make something for yourselves. Make something, maybe for the brother here, Thumb and the officer, Carl. But y'all, like I said, y'all go ahead. I would suggest the to-go trays are over there. I would suggest so y'all can cover y'all food and plate. The water. All right, here we go. We are going to be reading now. We're in Leviticus 23, and we're going to be reading through 35. Leviticus 23, verse through 35 in the Hebrew, and then we're going to go in the English. And like I said, I would suggest to bring those coverings, because if we pray, y'all can just cover y'all food right up. Go to ghost trays. Leviticus 23, verse 29. Kaya, call, hanapash, ashar, la'ah, fa'aina, ba'itazam, hayawam, hazah, wanakar ratha, ma'ayim yaha, verse 30. Wakal, hanapash, ashar, fa'aisha, call, mala'aka, ba'itazam, hayawam, hazah, Waha abadafya af hanapash hawa makora ab ha. Verse 31. Call mala'aka la'av aishawa kakwaf iwalam la daraf yakam bakal mashabath yakam. Verse 32. Shalom, sir. Verse 32. Shabbath one hawa lakam wa ainaya thumb ah. Napashaf yakam, but for Aisha Lakadash, but Irab, for Shabbathwa, Shabbathkam, verse 33. Wayadabar Yahweh all Mashallah Amar, verse 34. We're in Leviticus chapter 23, verse 34, sir. Dabar al Bunya Yasha'ala la Amar, Bahamat Kamasha, Aishara, Yawam, Lakadash. Hashabayaya, Hazah, Chad, Hasakawaf, Shaba'ai, Yum, La Yahawa, verse 35. Bayawam, Hara Ashwan, Makora'ah, Kodash, Kal, Mala'akaf, Ibada, La'at, Aishawa, and that's it. All right, now we're reading Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 29 through 35 in the English.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 29. For whatsoever soul it be that shall be afflicted in that same day.
Shall not be afflicted.
Salah. For whatever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever soul it be that doeth any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people. Verse 31. You shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations and all your dwellings. Verse 32. It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your souls in the 9th day of the month at even, from even unto even. Ye shall celebrate your Sabbath.
Okay, and if you think about this, the Day of Atonement, the better translation really be the Day of Atonements, plural, because this was the day that Aaron had to literally go in and make an atonement for his family first. Then he had to make an atonement for Israel. So this was so that's why it's really the Day of Atonements, plural. So there was a lot going on in that day. That's when Aaron, that was the only day Aaron could go before the Ark of the Covenant. And, that was the only day he could actually go in to the most holy place. So this was a serious day, and the Most High said on this day, he forgave all Israel of their sins. He said that a number of times. You can look for this in Leviticus 16. He said on this day, your sins should be forgiven. So, shalom, sis. So you got to think about what was going on in this day. So I know it says the Day of Atonement. The better example, translation of the Day of Atonement, plural. Because there was a lot going on in that day. Okay, and you were to fast or afflict your soul that day. And for 24 hours. That's what it says. The ninth at evening should be throughout the 10th at evening. Sunset to sunset is a full 24 hours. All right, go ahead.
Verse 33, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of this 7th month shall be a feast of tabernacles for the 7 days unto the Lord. Verse 35, on the first day shall be a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
All right, excellent. Question. All right, let's see who's like, even the people that's at the food. Question. So, on the Feast of Tabernacles, okay, that's at the 15th day of the, I'll get mine at the end. Come on. Salakia sisters, as long as there's mac and cheese left, I'm fine. As long as there's mac and cheese left, I'm good. All right, Salakia, does anybody know why we commemorate the Feast of Tabernacles? What does this commemorate? Does anybody remember? Anybody remember why we do the Feast of Tabernacles? There is a reason. What is this a reminder of? I'll give you a hint. It has to do something of us being in the wilderness. I'll give you another hint. What were we dwelling in the wilderness? What were we living in? Anybody remember? When Israel was going out of Egypt, what did we have to live in? Anybody know? Take a guess. All right, we had to live in tents. Okay, yeah, just say what you're thinking. I know what's on people's mind. Okay, we had to live in tents in the wilderness, and we didn't have a permanent home. So the Feast of Tabernacles commemorates us wandering in the wilderness, you know, and living in temporary dwellings like the tents that we were. And who was living in a tent among us? Who had their own tent? Anybody remember? We had a, go ahead. Well, the Most High had his own tent. He was, the Most High, he had his own tent, okay? And we had our tent surrounding his tent, okay? And how long were we wandering in the wilderness? Does anybody remember how many years? Go ahead, Matham, slack, sir. 40 years. We were 40 years in the wilderness, okay? So the Feast of Tabernacles is a feast that commemorates us wandering in the wilderness and not having a permanent home, okay? We were wandering and we were living in temporary dwellings, and the Most High dwelt there right among us. Okay? I don't think that was it, right, sir? So, okay, perfect. All right, we're going to be reading 36, Leviticus chapter 23. We're going to be reading 36 through, should be 42. We're going to read that in the Hebrew, then we got it in the English. Okay? Leviticus 23, verse 36. Shaba'ai, yum yum, dakwara, yabwa, asha, La Yahweh, Bayawam, Hashemayanya, Makora'ah, Kodash, Yahaya, Lakam, Waha Korabtham, Asha, La Yahweh, Atazarath, Hawa'ah, Kal, Mala Akath, Abada, La'ah, Aishawa, verse 37. Allah, Mawa'aya, Yahweh, Ashar, Fakora Awa, Atham, Makora Yah, Kodash, Lahaya Koryad, Asha, La Yahweh, Ailah, Wamanakha Zabat, Wanasakyam, Dabar, Yawam, Ba Yawamwa. Verse 38, Leviticus chapter 23, verse 38. Malabad, Shabbathath, Yahweh, Wamalabad, Mathunwath, Yakam, Wamalabad, call Nadar Yakam, Mawalabad, call Nadab Nadabwa Yakam, Ashar, Thunwa, La Yahweh, verse 39. Bachamash, Kabachamasha, Ishar, Yawam, Bachadash, Hashabayaya, Ba'asak Yakam, Thabawa'af, Harataza, Thachagwa, Chag, Yahweh, Shaba'ai, Yum Yum, Bayawam, Harashwan, Shabbathwan, Waba Yawam, Hashamayanya, Shabbathwan, verse 40. Kwala Katham, Lakam, Bayawam, Harashwan, Parya, Aitazah, Hadar, Kapath, Thamariam, Wa Ainat, Aitazah, Ibath, Wa Irabia, Nachal, Washama Katham, thumb. Lapunya, Yahweh, Allah, Yakum, Shaba'ai, Yum Yum, verse 41. Wakagath, Wakagathum, Athwa, Chag, Yahweh, Shaba'ai, Yum Yum, Bashana, Kawhath, Awalam, Ladarath Yakum, Wakadash, Habashayaya, Thachagwa, Athwa, verse 42. Basakath, Shabwa, Shaba'aith, Yum Yum, Kal Hazarak, Bayasha'ala, Yeshabwa, Basakath, and that's it. Now we're going to be reading Leviticus chapter 36, Leviticus chapter 23, 36 through 42.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 36. 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. On the 8th day shall be a holy convocation unto you, and ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein.
Okay, so on the Feast of Tabernacles, okay, let me ask you, see you paying attention. I know everybody's paying attention. How many days are the Feast of Tabernacles? How many days are there in the Feast of Tabernacles? Okay, I know we just passed that, you know what, how many days? Go ahead, sis. 7 days, okay, all right. And the first day is a holy day, and then we close it on the 8th day, all right? And so, and remember, this commemorates us wandering in the wilderness. Go ahead. Did we finish off?
Verse 37.
Oh, come on, go ahead, sir.
Verse 37. These are the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, a burnt offering, and a meat offering, a sacrifice, a drink offering. Everything upon this day. Verse 38. Beside the Sabbath of the Lord, and beside your gift, and beside all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings, which ye give unto the Lord. Verse 39. And also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath.
Okay, so the first day and the 8th day were Sabbaths. Okay, they were high holy days. They were like how we do the weekly Sabbath, like today is a Sabbath. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 40. And you shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook, and ye shall rejoice before the Lord your God 7 days.
So, did you notice something that the Most High commanded us to do, especially, we're supposed to do it in all the feasts, but this feast, the Most High actually commanded us to rejoice. So the feast is a time for you to rejoice, okay? The Most High said you shall rejoice in the feast time, especially the Feast of Tabernacles. Go ahead.
Verse 41. And ye shall keep it a feast unto the Lord 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month.
Okay, and another reason you got to think where to rejoice, because the Most High took care of us in the wilderness. He fed us, okay, fed us bread, fed us. What was the food called in the wilderness that He fed us? I remember the special bread. Well, I won't say. Well, so, go ahead. Okay, it's not necessarily it had a name to it. They said it was like I think it had like a nice. Go ahead, sir. Not necessarily so. It was a special. It kind of was like they saw it on the field. It was like the dew from heaven. Go ahead. Manna. Come. Wow, come. He fed us manna in the wilderness. Fed us quail. Okay. This is the stuff that He was feeding us in the wilderness. Okay. I think we need verse 42 slide.
Verse 42.
Uh-huh.
Book of Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 42. Ye shall dwell in booths 7 days, and that all that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths.
Okay, all that are Israelites, because the Israelites were the ones that went through this process of wandering in the wilderness. Okay, that's why I said all Israelites. Okay, we're going to go ahead and finish it off. This is Leviticus 23, verse 43 and 44. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 43. Excuse me. Lama'ain yada'aiwa darath yakam kaya basakawath Hawa Shabbathya, Bunya, Yasha'ala, How Watazaya Aya, Athawan, Awathan, Harataza, Matazarium, Anya, Yahweh, Allah, Yakum. Verse 44, Waya Debar, Mashah, Af, Ma'aya, Yahweh, All, Bunya, Yasha'ala. And that's it. Shalom, Lord of Christ. Well, you new here, sir? You're new? Brand new? Go ahead and take a seat. Welcome. Welcome. No, all right, so Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 43 and 44. We're going to read that in the English.
The book of Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 43. That your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths. When I brought them out of the land of Egypt, I am the Lord your God. Verse 44. And Moses declared unto the children of Israel the feast of the Lord.
Excellent. 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 All right. So pretty much this is, like I said, the feast of first fruits is the closing of it. Okay. And we know the spirit. Does anybody remember? The spirit behind this day is for us to not be what? But remember the spirit behind this day. Right? Remember? Go ahead. Not to be greedy. Thank you. Give her a hand. Good job. Not to be greedy. Okay? That's why we bring stuff. We bring our best. We share. And that is the spirit behind the Most High is teaching us that lesson. And really, the spirit behind every feast day is really, I think Commander General Hanna said it best, is brotherhood. That's really the spirit behind all these feast days is brotherhood. And us coming together. All right? Any other questions? Comments? Any other questions? All right. It's just the people up here. Aymani. Let me see. Let me just make sure. Okay. I used to know how to do it, and then Matazaba, all of a sudden became, the Jordan of it. So I gotta. But I used to go blow. The Matazaba became the Michael Jordan blowing the horns in here. Face forward. La Yashala.
La Yasha'ala.
I'm gonna have you hold the scrolls. Men of Israel, gird up thy loins. Salakia says, bars, he's coming. Men of Israel, gird up thy loins and prepare to salute the Torah. Korah, go ahead and cover that up. Korah, go ahead and cover that. Something's flying. Yahweh Bashim Yashabrakah. Salakia, so would you mind turning the camera? And go right there.
How about Shemal Shabrakiyah?
Yahweh Bashim Yashabrakah. How about Shimei Al-Shabrak?
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabarak Yah.
Let me get it. My thumb got me. All right. This is for everybody. About to do the prayers. This is for everybody. Imadium, which means to stand. We're going to turn on the red. Wapanya Hakwadam, which means rise and face east. One this way. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'll do the Hebrew. We're going to read the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, and then we're going to read it in the English. The Lord's Prayer, Abanawa,
Abanawa,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Quadash,
Quadash,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Shemka,
Shemka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Malak Wafka,
Malak Wafka,
Taba'ah,
Taba'ah,
Ratazayaka,
Ratazayaka,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Aratazah,
Aratazah,
Kawa,
Kawa,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Bashamayim,
Bashamayim,
Nathunlanau,
Nathunlanau,
Lakam,
Lakam,
Call,
Call,
Yawam,
Yawam,
Wasalak now,
Wasalaknau,
Kabawak now,
Kabawak now,
Kasalak now,
Kasalaknau,
Kabawaki now,
Kabawaki now,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Kabi'ayi now,
Kabawaki now,
Manasaya 1,
Balasai 1,
Abal,
Abal,
Habashai now,
Habashai now,
Mayan,
Mayan,
Ra,
Ra,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Laka,
Laka,
Amalakwa,
Amalakwa,
Waha'ala,
Waha'ala,
Wahatapa'ara,
Waha'ala,
La'awalamim, Aman,
Aman,
Our Father,
our Father,
which art in heaven,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy will be done
thy will be done,
in earth
in earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread,
our daily bread,
and forgive us our
and
debt
forgive us our debts,
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation,
Lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
Thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
forever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it. This is Hakat, the power, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashim Yahweh Shah,
Bahashim Yahushua,
Baba Kusha,
Baba Kushah,
Nathunlanau,
Thundernow,
Hakat,
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 Larapa'ah,
Larapa'ah,
Kamakala,
Kamakala,
Wakal Marawa,
Karmawa,
Hakat,
Hakat,
Latahar,
Latahar,
Hamatazarayim,
Hamatazarayim,
Hakat,
Hakat,
Lahakiim,
Lahaki,
Hamakiim,
Hamaki,
Hakat,
Hakat,
Arakawa,
Arakawa,
Hatama'ala,
Hatama'ala,
Lagarashan,
Baba Kushah,
Bahashim Yahweh Shah,
Bahashim Yahushua,
the Wad Aman.
the Wada Aman.
And in the English, Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shah.
Lord,
Yahweh in the name of
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
in the name of Yahweh Shah,
In the name of Yahweh Shah,
please give us the power
please give us the power
to heal
to heal
all manner of sickness
all manner of sickness
and all manner of disease,
and all manner of disease,
the power to cleanse the lepers,
the power to cleanse the leper,
the power to raise the
the
dead,
power to raise the dead,
the power against unclean
the
spirits,
power against unclean spirits,
to cast them out
to cast them out.
in the name of Yahweh Shah,
In the name of Yahweh Shah,
the water so be it.
thank you, so be it. This is to bless Israel, Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashim Yahweh Shah,
Bahashim Yahushua,
Barak Lanawa,
Baraklanau,
Wayasha'ala,
Washa'al,
Wahabayah,
Wahabaya,
Sapariah,
Sapar,
Barak,
Barak,
Bahashim Yahweh Shah,
Bahashim Yahushua,
the Wad Aman.
the Wada Aman.
And in the English,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh Shah,
in the name of Yahweh Shah,
bless us
bless us
and Israel
and Israel
and the school
and the school.
in the name of Yahweh Shah,
In the name of Yahweh Shah,
the water so be it.
thank you, so be it. This is Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Aisha
Aisha,
Ayanya,
Ayanya,
Ahaharian,
Ahari,
Ma'ayan,
Ma'ayan,
Yaba'a,
Yaba'a,
Isarian,
Isari,
Isarian,
Isari,
Ma'ayin,
Ma'ayin,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Aisha,
Yasha,
Shamayam,
Shamayam,
Wa'arataza,
Arataza,
Ayathan,
Ayathan,
Lamarat,
Lamarat,
Regalka,
Gal,
Ayanawam,
Ayanawam,
Shamarka,
Shamar,
Hana,
Hana,
La'a,
La'a,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Yayashan,
Yashan,
Shawamar,
Shabamar,
Yasha'ala,
Yasha'al,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalka,
Tazalka,
Al-Yah,
Al-Yah,
Yamyanka,
Yamyaka,
Yawamam,
Ramah,
Hashamash,
Hashemah,
La'a,
La'a,
Yakaka,
Yakaka,
Wayarak,
Wayirak,
Balayala,
Layila,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamarka,
Yashamar,
Makora,
Korah,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
of Napashka,
Napashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Taza Afka,
Afka,
Wabawa Aka, Mayatha,
Yatha,
Wa'ai, Awalam,
Awalam,
Amon.
Aman.
I will lift up my eye into the hill,
I will lift up my eyes to the hill.
for whence cometh my help.
My whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from the Lord.
My help cometh from Yahweh.
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep.
he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy shade upon my right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in
from this time forth
from this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
So be it.
So be it. This is Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim. Aldama Yalaka. Althakarash. Ra'altha Shakwat. Al. Kayahana. Awayab Yaka. Yahama Yawan. Womashanayaka. Nasha'awa. Ra'ash. Al Imaka. Ya'ira Yamwa. Sawa. Where you thought your eye tells a what? Altazapa Wanyaka. Amarwa. Lakawa. Winakakina. Magoya. Willa Yasakar. Sham Yasha'al. Iwa. Kaya. Now what I tells a what? La. Yakadwa. Ayaka. Brayah. Yakarathwa. Ahoya. Arawam. Womashamai Alayam. Mawa'aba. Wahagarian. Gabal. Wa'aimawan. Wa'aimalak. Palasha. Anyashabya. Tazawar. Gam Ashawar. Nalawa. Imam. Hayawa. Zarawad. Labanya Lawa. Salah. Aishalaham. Kamadyan. Kasayasara'ah. Kayabyan. Banakal. Kwayashwan. Nishamadwa. Ba'ayanda Ara. Hayawa. Daman. La'adama. Shayatamwa. Nadawyabawa. Ka'ira. Wakaza'aba. Wakazaba. Wakazazomina. Konasaya Kamwa. Ashar. Amarwa. Nayarashah. Lanawa. Na'awa. Alahayim. Alahaya. Shayatamwa. Kagogala. Kakwash. Lapanya Raka. Ka'ash. The Ba'ira Ya'ira. Willa Kahaba. Thalaha. Haryam. Kam. The Radatma. But Sa'iraka. Wabba Sapafka. The Balalham. Willa Panyaham. Kwalawan. Waya Bakwashwa. Shamka. Yahawa. Yabashwa. Waya Bahowa. Ayai. Waya Kaparwa. Waya Kaabadwa. Waya Da'aiwa. Kaya. Atha. Shamka. Yahawa. Labadka. Ayawan. Akal. Ha'arataza. Aman.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace,
Hold not thy peace.
and be not still,
Be not still,
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make atonement,
thy enemies make atonement,
and they that hate us have lifted up the head.
and they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
They have taken crafty counsel
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people,
against thy people,
and consulted together against thy hidden ones.
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
And let us cut them off from being a nation,
And let us cut them off from being a nation,
that the name of Israel may be no more remembered.
that the name of Israel be no more remembered.
For they have consulted together
For they have consulted together
with one consent.
with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of
The
Edom,
tabernacles of Edom,
and the Ishmaelites,
and the Ishmaelites,
and Moab,
of Moab,
and the
and
Hagarenes,
the Hagarenes,
Gabal,
Gabal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
and the Philistines,
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
Asher is also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites,
Do unto them as unto the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
as to Sisera,
as to Jaban,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kison,
at the brook of Gasson,
which perished at Endor.
which perished at Endor.
They came as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Arab,
Made their nobles like a rat,
and like Zeeb.
and like Zahab.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes of Zabah,
elder princes of Zabah,
and as Zamula,
and as Zamuna,
who said,
who said,
Let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession.
let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession.
O Yahweh,
Oh my power. Oh my,
O my power,
oh my power.
make them like the wheel,
Make them like a wheel,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the stubble before the wind,
as the fire burneth for wood,
as the fire burneth the wood,
and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
and as the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest,
and make them afraid with thy
and
storm.
make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame.
that they may seek the name,
They may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh,
Let them be confounded
let them be confounded,
and troubled forever.
in trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame
let them be put to shame,
and perish,
and perish,
that men may know that thou,
that men may know that thou,
whose name is Yahweh alone,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
art the most high over all the earth.
are the most high over all the earth.
So be it.
So be it. These are the blessings of our power structure in Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shai. Wa Mayaka Allah. Wa Allah Hayim. Matazayab Ya'ah. Allah Wak Yahanam. Ha Allah Wakim. Ha Saranyam. Hakwatazayanyam. Hakayayoyam. Wa Ha'akwakiam. Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh Shai. The water among.
Bless you, Yahweh,
Bless you, Yahweh,
and Yahweh Shah,
and Yahweh Shai,
and Michael,
and Michael,
and the angels,
and the angels,
Commander General Yohanan,
Commander General Yohanan,
the general,
the general,
the captain,
the captain,
the officers,
the officer,
the troopers,
the troopers,
and the sisters.
and the sister.
Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shah,
Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai.
the water so big.
Thank you, so be. And these are the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Listen to us now. Right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us. Thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter to thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nation and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, Skinheads, Pasta Comitata, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, Open up the internet
Open up the internet
and the airwaves,
and the
the
airways,
cable access
the
channel,
cable access
and
channel,
the radio channel.
and the radio channel.
Convict the spirit
Convict the
of
spirit
any of thy people
of any of thy people
that seek to stop us
that seek to stop us
and bring swift destruction
and bring swift
to
destruction
all the heathen
to all the heathen
that stand in the way
that stand in the way
or try to stop us
or try to stop
from
us
broadcasting your word
from broadcasting your
throughout
word
the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
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 Cause them to go to and fro
Cause them to go to and fro
through the earth
through the earth
and consume them.
and consume them.
Let the plague
Let the plagues
shake the house of the thief
shake the house of the thief
and the murder.
and the murder.
Let Yahweh Shah,
Let Yahweh shine.
Michael and Gabriel
Michael and Gabriel
come down with the flying saucer,
come down with the flying saucer.
punish all the heathen
Punish all the
that
heathen
come up against
that
us
come up against us
as we speak thy word.
as you speak thy word.
Cause be known
Cause it to be known
by all
by all
that is the angel
that is the angel
that have done
that
it.
has done it.
Cause it to be spread
Cause it to be spread
through the media
through the media
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause the shake thy come.
In the name of Yahweh
In
Shah.
the name of Yahweh shine.
Thank you
Thank you.
always.
Always.
So be it.
So be it.
Sar, which means return. This concludes the service. Sisters Yeshabian, you be seated.
Men of Israel, we will give one courteous salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amadium, Amadium Shabbat, Amadium, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat,
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua Barakatham.
Yazmatah, Sar, and face the sisters, sisters, Amadium. Men of Israel, we'll give one courteous salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Amadium, Amadium Shabbat, Amadium, Barak, Yahweh Shema, Barakam, Hashem, Yahweh Shah. Yazmatah, class dismissed.